I'm feeling quite chatty, and I've been busy, but without sharing a lot of content. So maybe I can try and use this ride, this meandering Thursday morning ride, to fill you in on a couple of things. We'll see how we go. I've been flipping wheels around a little bit of late because I had some review wheels, the Black Label 46 from Reynolds, which I think are fantastic. They manage crosswinds really well. They are hooked rims. They have an internal measurement of that much. I don't remember. And they're pretty good value, actually. There's two options. You can get one with these hubs, which is that brand, and they cost $3,200 in Australia in August 2024. And then there's another option which costs that much, and they have different hubs. If you're in the market for a new set of wheels, take a look at the Reynolds because they've really impressed me. Anyway, over the last week, I've been riding with Campagnolo Shimano wheels from 2018 or 19. And I really like them a lot, but they're probably a little bit dated now because wheel technology has improved enormously in that time. And I might pull over just to finish this yarn before I get into traffic. But, so, here's the deal. During the course of switching out wheels and tyres and various elements on my bike, my new bike, my Cinelli Pressure APR, I had a little bit of rasping, which is to say chain against cogs on the rear cassette. Anyway, I've referenced it before, but I'll say it again. I'm using SRAM Force AXS. New generation, released in 2023. And with the release of that group set was also a release of a new app. And it's got a micro adjustment feature, and I don't know if everyone's using it because I hear a lot of rasping when I go out riding. There's many reasons for rasping, and switching out wheels is one of them, especially switching out wheels in the middle of a ride while you're also trying to review product. So that's what's been happening. Anyway, I used the app yesterday. And today, oh my goodness, it's like a revelation. It is so whisper quiet and so super functional. And yeah, it's well worth having a look into if you're a SRAM user. I don't know how it all works with the old generation stuff. I'm not sure if it's compatible, but if you've got the new generation Force AXS or the newer generation SRAM Red, I would suggest having a look into the app because it's unreal. If you need me to do a little demonstration, let me know, and I can do that. But it's sort of stating the obvious. People who have used the app will be saying, Rob, what are you talking about? It's been around since the launch of the group set, da-da-da-da-da. Why haven't you talked about it before? Well, because I haven't used it before, because I've had my bike set up by professional mechanics and I hadn't been fiddling around with wheels too much. But now I have, and therefore I've used the app, and therefore I'm talking about it. So, that's the first little piece about this ride. Bit of housekeeping for today. I'm overdressed, but that's only because I'm planning on a short ride. So I better get pedaling, and I'll tell you a little bit more at the turnaround. Okay, let's ride. So, that's one obvious statement, talking about fine-tuning your gears with a bit of technology which is designed to fine-tune your gears. I'll show you the shifting, if I can, on the return leg when I'm over on that side of the road, where the sun is shining from the drivetrain side. on my return. For people who live in Sydney, another obvious statement coming up, but for people who don't, this is what we call containers. I don't know why you figure it out. And this is a bunch doing the containers on a Thursday morning. Not sure which bunch that is because there's so many bunches now, and there'll be more in the coming weeks and months on account of spring has sprung, and bike riding is always better in longer days because then you can just keep going, can't you? That's the sunshine opposite containers down at Port Botany. A few other things. I referenced the Reynolds wheels. The agent for Reynolds in Australia is BikeSportz, which is owned by David Cramer, who's probably one of the most experienced blokes in the bike trade in Australia. Super nice guy, and a real, actually, to be honest, Dave Cramer, he says, turning around to get the sun on his face, Dave Cramer deserves a lot more credit than he gets for backing Australian cycling. He's owned BikeSportz for 100 years, probably not that long, but it's been in the family for a very long time. And his son Shannon is, you know, working on Bike Chain and various other portals, which are part of the BikeSportz group. And I reckon it's worth having a look at. So support them because they support Australian cycling, and they've just announced another long-term deal with a cycling federation that I prefer not to name. And good on BikeSportz for doing that. And I only hope that that federation gives them a little bit of return for their investment. So that's a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. Random commentary number probably 3 or 4. Now I will continue with my ride. But before I do so, given that the sun is shining on my feet, I'm going to show you something else that I'm going to talk about. So, Trek shoes, eh? They're not Bomb Tracker anymore. And I'll do this just for the punchline. There's no place like home. Maybe you know that reference, Dorothy. Yeah, they're bright red. It's not my choice, but I was resistant or reluctant to use them, as I've said a few times while riding in these new Trek shoes, because the shoes I've been riding with for the last few years, or well, probably a bit over a year, are my absolute favourite product, Nimbl Ultimate. They're ultimate because that's the name, and that's what I reckon they are. They're just the best shoes I've ever ridden with. And if you've got the best shoes you've ever ridden with in your possession, why would you try a review set that might not be, which potentially won't be as, I don't know, satisfying, efficient, comfortable, etc. Why would you? Anyway, I did because, well, I'd been sent them by Trek for review. And anyway, this is about my 6th, 7th ride with them. Every time I go out with these shoes, I feel like I'm like, ooh, they're really good. They're really, really good. And they're a bucket load cheaper than the Nimbl Ultimate. So if you're in the market for a new set of shoes this spring, I'd recommend having a look at the Trek range. There's a knitted version, or there's a newer, or there's a sister brother pair, which has sort of got a different aesthetic and a much, much higher price tag. But I didn't get that sent them, so I can't tell you anything about them other than they exist and they're called that. Okay, that's cool, isn't it? There we go. We've knocked off a few things, and that's what I wanted to do. I just want to get like an information dump out today, so that I can sort of clear my head, clear my mind, and then you know, finish a few of the other unfinished tasks that I've got on the boil. Okay, I'll probably talk to you a bit more later, but for now, this will turn around. Moments before I jump up on that wall and see if I can see the seal, which I haven't seen this season. Yeah, that's just a quick overview of what's on my mind right at this minute. Oh, just for the record, I've been talking about the Reynolds wheels, but just a little, this is a mash-up ride, let's call it. So I'll get away from that fish sign. Gently lean the bike against that wall that I talked about before. I'll show you the Reynolds wheels without having adjusted them at all. So that's the rear, right? And yeah, as you can tell, I've used it and haven't cleaned it, and I like it. I really, really like it. It's a great shape. I've been out in crosswinds and it's managed them perfectly, certainly in comparison with some other wheels. The Campagnolo Shimals have got a funky spoke lacing pattern, and I rode them down in the Southern Highlands the other day when I went down a hill very quickly, and I didn't like them as much. No, sorry, Campagnolo. I do love your heritage, but you're just being outpaced in terms of R&D, I reckon. But the Shimals still look beautiful. Does that matter? Yes, it does. So anyway, finishing this little anecdote. Yeah, different tyres, different front wheel to the rear. Total anarchy, I know. But I don't know how it's ended up that way, but that's what it is. Also, while I'm showing you those bits and pieces, I have to say that in the last couple of years, last actually 5 years, I've been using a bucket load of different tyres. I'd been singing the benefits of 32mm because they're super comfy and they roll beautifully and you can blah, 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 blah. I've said it all before. But at the moment I'm riding 28mm Goodyear. And for me, of all the brands I've been using of late, which is Schwalbe, Bontrager, Pirelli, start that again, Schwalbe, Bontrager, Pirelli, Goodyear, Continental, probably others, I can't remember. Oh yeah, ERE, Goodyear. Yeah, I think for me, they've won the gong. They've just been reliable tyres, grippy. I feel at ease on them, as in I know their cornering characteristics. I like the compounds through the range. I can say that the higher end ones do roll a lot quicker because, well, they're lighter and they're designed to roll quicker and whatever, but you can feel it. And also, while I just reference all of that, which is probably way too much to include in one video, I've also remained tubeless, committed, even though, you know, when you get the fit good, it's terrific, like as in you can be happy. When you get the fit, when it doesn't work, it can be a few minutes, it could even be a few hours of frustration, but I'm doing it myself. I no longer go to the bike shop to get tubeless tyres fitted, and generally it works out pretty well for me. I could go onto another topic here, like the Bontrager pump that I've got. Anyway, that's a thing of joy, but that deserves an independent video, like a video all about that pump. But it looks like this. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in another video. Okay, but for now, look at this. You know what I'm showing you? Bloody beautiful day. You know what else is apparent to me right now? The wind, which has been blowing with some intensity these last few days, doesn't exist this morning. So life's good. Shh, listen. Do you know what you can hear? You hear the distant rumblings of a city waking up. Righto, so that's a bit of shifting on the micro adjusted cassette, or the micro adjusted group set, and in comparison to how it was before, where there was a little bit of rasping, I'll say that's pretty whisper quiet. Up and down the 12-speed cluster. Moving right along. During the course of this video, if I bring up a topic that piques your interest, and you want to know a little bit more about it, don't hesitate to leave a comment. Actually, don't hesitate to leave a comment, because I really like the feedback. I've had quite a lot of people come up to me of late and say, "Hey Rob, I really like your videos." And I said, "Thank you very much. Have you left a comment?" And they said, "No." And I say, "Would you mind?" And they say, "Oh yeah, sure, okay." So I like it. I like to hear from my viewers, especially if you like what I do. If you don't like what I do, can you not make a comment? That'd be great. Thanks.